So welcome to the Super Connect for Good Smart Cities finalist pitching session. My name is John Masters and I'm Head of Software Solutions, and I'm here today representing Siemens Mobility Traffic Solutions, and I'm the lead judge for today's sessions. I'm also joined by Gaita, is that how you pronounce it? Gaita?
That should be fine, yeah.
Gaita Manla, who leads our innovation teams at Siemens as well. And also we will be joined by Martin Pardee from Hayes. So we will now begin the session, and the first company that's going to be pitching for us today is Access Earth, which is Matt McCann, who I can see on the list here. So Matt, I'm going to try and bring you up to the front so that you can actually start your presentation, and then we'll cross our fingers and see how it goes. Okay, so all right, here we go.
So hi everyone, and thank you very much for this opportunity to talk to you today about Access Earth. So imagine for a second you're waiting to get into your favorite band's concert, as far away as that journey may seem with the year of lockdown that we've had. But when you get to the main entrance, you're told it isn't suitable for you, and now you have to use another entrance at the other side of the venue minutes before the event even starts. Then you're told that you can't sit with your family and friends, as there are no seats suitable for your needs, leaving you essentially at a concert surrounded by strangers. I have cerebral palsy and use a rollator to get around, and this is a reality not just for me, but so many people with accessibility needs around the world. The number one problem faced by people who need accessibility information is not knowing what to expect when they arrive at a new venue. But using AI image processing, crowdsourced data, and mobile technology, the Access Earth platform will remove this problem. Picture this. From the moment you purchase your tickets, you'll have a uniquely customized itinerary directly available on your phone, letting you know what entrance to take, where to park, and also how to best secure seats suitable for your needs with a direct map directly on your phone for turn-by-turn navigation. This will have such a positive impact, not just on the lives of so many people and their families, because together with Super Connect, we can make the future of smart cities accessible to everyone. In the next 2 years, we hope to have that real-time parking solution available, as well as have 1 million locations mapped on our platform worldwide. To help this, we are also launching a crowdfunding campaign within the next month to help enable everyone to access Earth. Thank you very much, and I look forward to any questions.
Yeah, I've got a question. How do you usually approach this one? Do you have to go and get in touch with different shops, different venue, collect that data, and then put it on one platform?
So we do this in a number of ways. There's through a crowdsourcing approach, which we do through mapping events. So we would get local authorities, local disability support organizations together to map a venue. So we did one in London last year, 2019, I suppose, where we got over 130 volunteers from Microsoft to map both Oxford Circus and around Paddington Station. And in 3 hours using the app, they got 2,500 businesses mapped on the platform for anyone to view. We would then, after the event, contact local businesses to say, is this something that you would like to promote? So we can provide them with essentially a window sticker that they put in the window with a QR code that users can then use to rate a venue.
Okay, another question. So once you've done it once, how would you maintain it as a business? How would you maintain the information, because it can change? And yeah, let's cover that one, and then I'll move to the next one.
So it's a crowdsourced approach, so the community would continue to maintain this and keep it up to date. But we're also using things like AI to look at sentiment analysis for online reviews, so that when that information changes across a business's entire online profile, we'll be able to update that information.
Okay, I think the last question is, once you've done it once in countries like the UK, maybe stuff is not going to change as quick as, for example, other country that is developing and improving their infrastructure every single day. So once it's done once, how would you get your revenue from? How's the future is like for the company? How would you envisage it?
So our main revenue would come from, say, large venue providers. So, for example, stadiums and large concert venues that need to provide that turn-by-turn navigation for fans, say, getting into a stadium each and every week. If they're an away fan, this would be the first time attending that stadium. So it'd be through a licensing opportunity with those large venues primarily.
So question from me then, Matt. Of all the things that you've achieved so far with Access Earth, in terms of social impact, what's the thing that you're most proud of?
Honestly, the thing that I'm most proud of is knowing that this solution helps anyone around the world. I mean, even if we just had one place rated in every single city, it would help someone. So just, getting a message from someone on Facebook to say that we've helped them find an accessible hotel has just, that's what keeps me going. And that's how we just measure the impact.
Fantastic. Martin, did you have any questions that you wanted to ask?
No questions for me on this one. No, thank you.
Great. So is there any kind of final thoughts you'd like to give, Matt, before we go on to our next presentation?
Thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to tell you about what we do, and if we can help make the Access Earth available to even more people, that'd be the best way possible.
Great, thank you. Okay, so that's great. Let me just. Okay, so we have Lewis. Sorry about that, Lewis. I'm not sure what happened there. So we have Lewis from City. Am I pronouncing your name correctly?
Louis was fine the first time.
Louis was correct, was it? My bad. Yeah. Okay, so Louis, we have from City Mass. Yeah, off you go.
All right. So talking about City Mass, I thought I would tell you a little bit about why I'm here. And I moved to the UK from South Africa in November 2020. And coming from a developing country like South Africa, resources are not easily accessible, or assistive technology is far and few between for the disabled community. And when I arrived here, I decided that I was going to really make a concerted effort to see what's available to me, since I'm in a world that is far more accessible than South Africa. And I came across City Mass on Instagram and was completely amazed by the technology, because they are really striving to achieve a solution for the pain points of the disabled community that people like myself face on a daily basis. And I originally reached out to them as a brand ambassador and was drawn in by the passion that they have for their mission. And I'm now part of the team, and I'm their partnership manager. So City Mass is an award-winning inclusive tech startup that was founded in 2018 with a vision and mission through technology to find a solution that really makes the world accessible for all, online and offline, while showing businesses that they have a growth potential of being inclusive. 15% of our global population is made up by people who are registered as disabled, and this does not include hidden disabilities, the aging population, or the situationally disabled. This relates to roughly 1.1 billion people who have a spending power of $8 trillion. And like myself, people with disabilities usually require a lot of assistance or a lot of planning and research when wanting to go places or do things online. We're using cutting-edge and machine learning technology to try and address this massive divide between independent living for the disabled community and how businesses can still generate significant revenue whilst doing the right thing and ensuring that they cater to everyone. Assist Me is our Assist Me is our plugin that gives users control to interact with the website based on their needs and preferences. So whether they want to change word or letter spacing if they have dyslexia, or they need to change the color of their font because they have a visual impairment. once applied to a website, we've seen in our customer base that engagement has increased by over 2,600%, and their original visitor base increased by triple their original amount. Aware is our online accessibility diagnostics tool, which we use to scan a web page through each element to check it in terms of the guidelines set out by W3C, which enables us to determine whether it would be usable for people who have impairments or not. And these regulations are put out by W3C in accordance to legislation that is valid across 48 countries. This tool also allows us to provide high quality and consistent audit reports for businesses. Mobility Map is a digital solution, very much like Google, which allows us to provide vital data for people when they are traveling, visiting family and friends, medical appointments, traveling on public transport, or even just a mum with her child in a buggy. This map is truly for everyone. It's a global platform that provides accessible information about places with our latest machine learning prediction of 95%. With our solutions, we can truly provide a level playing field for everyone, whilst creating a global revenue scaling opportunity for every business and its website. So far, we've been able to establish 3 patents, completed a number of accelerators, obtain government grants, and achieve 6 partnerships across continents. And we've also been named one of EU top startups of 2019. We are an extremely dedicated and passionate team about, striving towards our mission of making the world accessible. And with businesses losing out an average of £2 billion per month in the UK alone, we really want to help bring these statistics down, making the digital and physical world environment accessible to everyone. Being able to be part of this has just allowed us to further boost the profile of accessibility awareness, and being able to show the world that there are solutions out there to help everyone. So I welcome questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Louis. Has anyone got any questions?
Yeah, you mentioned there are 3 patents. Is it possible just to give us an overview about the patent? What were they? Is that in technology? Is that in methodology? So what's the patents that we're about?
So from how I understand it, that's a little bit more for the technical team to answer. But from what I understand, it's the way that we're applying our technology and the way that we're sourcing our data to be able to use it and cater to people's needs and preferences.
Yeah, it would be good to get in touch and just understand the
Yeah,
patent.
I would definitely recommend maybe visiting our booth if you want to ask questions later, because our CEO will be there to
Awesome.
answer that. Yeah.
That is really good. Thank you so much.
Louis, just quickly, in terms of relevancy to the smart cities piece, so the mapping tool that highlights services and sites that are accessible for people with impairments. Is that correct?
Yes, so the platform allows people to plan their journey so that they have that accessible information prior to going, because usually someone like me would end up at a venue for, say, an interview, and because they haven't read my CV properly, I end up being interviewed on their doorstep rather than in their building. So those are the kind of pain points that we're trying to avoid. Or even traveling to a train station and there's a lift that's out of order. I then have to reroute my trip without knowing where I'm going. So, yeah.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Louis. That was really interesting. Thank you. Okay, so I am going to drop Louis out and I'm going to bring in Anna, who is going to talk about climate trade. So, Anna, take it away.
Hello, thank you everyone thanks for having me here. Well, I'm gonna share my screen. Here is it. Can you see my screen now?
Yep.
Okay, so nice to meet you all. My name is Anna, and I'm the operations manager of Climate Trade. Well, actually, what we do in Climate Trace to help companies in order not to achieve their carbon neutral commitments with carbon offsetting, of course. In that sense, we have a marketplace that is called Climate Trace, of course, where we put in contact companies companies and project developers. In this marketplace, the companies can choose directly the projects they want to, or the projects and the carbon credits they want to offset the carbon footprint, no? So this is the main function of the marketplace, but we have more initiatives, as could be, and as we won recently the UNTO, no, the United Nations Tourist recognition in terms of SDG 13, no, climate action. We are looking to decarbonize the cities to make in order to to avoid CO2, not only offset, also avoid it. No. So in that sense, we have an ecosystem with different devices, and we of course support other companies that develop this kind of devices that are really or make really high impact, but they don't have the financial, no, in that sense. So we commercialize those devices. So we always think about the tourism, no, objective of the focus, because tourism is a sector that really pollutes, and we have a global solution. Of course, our main objectives, we really believe that a crucial strategic project is to make a city's carbon neutral, no, destination for tourists, also not only for the citizens that are living there, but also from the tourists, because as we are going somewhere, when we travel on holidays, so that stuff we make impact. So, of course, the city has to calculate the carbon footprint, and they have different scopes, and they have to cover all different scopes in order to first reduce and then offset the carbon emissions. So actually, we coordinate our strategy with the carbon neutral strategy of the cities, according to automation of the data and of city projects, the circular economy, and so on. So in that sense, we have this device that it's really innovative. It's the BioUrban. BioUrban is this device, as you can see on the slide. It's just, I think, 2 meters taller. So it's really small. And this device captures CO2, nitrogen, and other particles floating on the air. The equivalent is 368 trees with just one device of this. These devices work because they are, as you can see, the dimensions are really standard. It's not so big, so you can put it anywhere in a square, in a university, in a hospital, and as I told you, capture the CO2 of 368 trees, the same equivalent. These devices are composed from microalgae. These microalgae are modified genetically, and is how they capture these particles. Actually, also these microalgae, when they make their function, they can become actually biochar. So it's a circular economy too. Of course, there are many other functions, no, that bring value to this carbon capturing, that we design an environmental monitoring system, because you can report every single data that is capturing, that every single ton of CO2 that it is capturing. Actually, we are trying to put this. We are working right now with some cities, the main one in Europe, to install these devices in the areas where the pollution is higher, and the maintenance it's really low. I mean, it's not necessary to be or to have any special knowledge about the microalgae, because the service, the company that is promoting this is the responsible of that. So they move to the place where the BioUrban is located, and they actually make the maintenance.
Okay. Sorry, we're kind of out of time. So is it okay? Is there any last few words you want to say, Anna, and then we'll move on to questions?
No, it's okay. Let's go with the questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any questions?
Yeah, I've got one. In terms of the device, do you know what level is your TRL?
Repeat, please.
TRL. Do you know what level is that?
Yeah. Actually, it's already functionally. I mean, we have these devices in Mexico City working. There are a lot of devices there. I think that 46 at least just in Mexico City. And of course, we are, as I told during the speech, we are just installing here, working to install with the government here in Europe, in different cities in Europe. So it's not a project. Actually, it's a reality, and are working. Our life, the devices.
And how many units are you expecting to be in Europe in 2022?
Actually, because we are working with some cities, kind of a pilot, and another one, not only cities, governments, because we have also companies, for example, in terms of different kind of polluted companies, we expect to have here more than 30, actually, in Europe for 2021. 30 devices at least. I mean, and we are working on it to expand this idea.
Yeah, and one last question is, when you went to Mexico City and you installed it there, well, I've got lots of questions, but I think we don't have time for it. But what's the main challenges actually that you faced there?
Actually, as a challenge is more the bureaucracy, you find with the government in terms of until you really install the device. But actually, as I told you, it's really easy. It's not so big. It's really easy to install. It's not so big. The maintenance, it's also really easy. So the main thing was about the bureaucracy, I really think.
I see. How about in Europe then? Is it the same situation? Are you dealing directly with the government, or are you working with the private industry?
Both.
Okay. Both.
Cool. So I'm sure if have you got a stand on it if there's any more follow-up questions we can ask?
Definitely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, great stuff. Okay, thank you for that. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So I'm going to move over to Aaron from Electric Miles. I'm just bringing you up now. Hi, Aaron. How are you?
Hey guys, how's it going? Apologies. So I'm Arun Anand. I'm the founder CEO of Electric Miles. We are a clean tech startup, and as you know, EVs are on the rise. There's estimated to be 9 million electric vehicles on the road in UK alone. However, there's a growing problem where 80% of charging is on demand, leading to uncapped charge bills and network congestion. Hence, Electric Miles was born to solve this problem. We are completely software, hardware agnostic, and we are really a data-driven management platform to really take on this EV massive upscale. So there's three problems we're trying to solve. One is the grid problem, with so many EVs on the road, and now you're already seeing what's happening with the petrol crisis. We're going to have the same in few years' time, where grid won't be able to cope with it. Then there's the driver problem. There's just too many apps, but they still can't do the smart charging. And then the fleet problem, where, again, limited electrical capacity, not being able to put the right charge, and businesses are going to feel the pain. Hence, we were born our solution. We've been researching in this area for the last 2 years. We've launched in the last 6 months. We got a beta out, and now we got 2 contracts signed, where really what the solution does is takes the whole ecosystem together, right from the car to the charger to the meter to the electricity infrastructure. And for an end consumer, you've got a mobile app where the users can automate on their charging, reduce their cost. It's hardware agnostic. It can talk to the car as well wirelessly, so that we could read the battery state, so that we could smart charge better. And we got this relationship with the grid, where we are able to match charging to the grid constraint. In terms of what the product can offer, we can offer 40% savings to the end consumer and in carbon dioxide reduction. So we're really helping the environment and really making the goalpost back. Otherwise, we just have to build more and more power plant in order to cope with this massive grid scale EV charging. And also the grid will be able to save £3 billion in the next 10 years. Our app is very simple to set up. It takes under 90 seconds for a user to add the car, add the charger, add the supplier, and set it and forget it. We are a SaaS platform, so we're selling different tiers of products. So currently on the market, we're selling the smart app, we are building the intelligent version of the app as well, which can do solar charging, journey management, calendar trip. And that's our sort of product vision. So our route to market is we sell it to B2B currently, to ChargePoint and to OEMs, to energy suppliers, who in turn sell it to their end drivers and fleets. And a real beneficiary is the grid in this case. So we got a very fascinating roadmap. We're gonna obviously this year focusing more on the OEM side, but next year we got fleet, supplier product, and eventually we will be that end user subscription where users can subscribe to. We got some exciting milestones to hit. We've already hit this quarter milestone of launching the app and getting some revenue started. But next year the focus will be a lot on the fleet product, getting that pilot out and doing the DSO and really iterating on that. We are software, so we are looking at a global expansion. We got signed up with a number of affiliated program. We got signed up with the Energy Tech Hub in Australia, with New Chip in the US, and we are working with some very exciting big players like ChargePoint to roll it out in Europe. Because we are completely software on the cloud, so we can really scale the solution quite easily. But hey, we can't do that without a great team. So we have a fantastic in-house team. We're a team of 10 at the moment with great experience in energy, software, and venture building, where we can really take this problem, which is a global problem, and solve it across the world. Finally, to land in like electric miles, we are a charging nervous system technology. We connect energy system actors in real time, and we optimize charging flexibility and really drive value for all the stakeholders and help the environment fight climate change. So thank you. I'll take any questions.
Any questions for Aaron?
Yeah, I would like to understand the technology. For example, if I have electric car, how is that useful for me as an end user if I have a charging point in my house?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is our bread and butter. So you download our app, and I mean, we are working with a number of charge points at the moment. So probably the one you have at home, if it's on one of our support lists, then you'll be able to download the app, scan your QR code, and be able to start smart charging.
And smart charging means it will only charge if there is enough capability within the grid. Mainly, are you linking it with what is it called, with renewable energy? Whenever it's, do you care about where is the source of electricity is? Where is it coming from, or do you just care about there's enough electricity in the grid?
Well, this is the exciting part, right? So there are various tiers of smart charging. Obviously, you as a consumer, we need to make sure you're gonna have enough charge the next day. So there are various like priorities. So we firstly ensure that you get your car ready by the next day, and the way we do it, we do some machine learning on your pattern, but also look at your calendar or your daily miles. And once you've achieved that, then the first thing is to give you that charge at the cheapest possible price. So we look at your tariff, and then we look at the grid position as well. So kind of we do the bottom-up approach. And the idea is to be able to satisfy
that only through a platform. So you don't have any hardware. So you only
that's the beauty of it. That it's completely software. As long as your charger is connected to the internet or even your EV, we are now launching a product where we can actually talk to the EV and send the charging instructions.
I understand. Well, there are lots of other technology on the market. You mentioned that you've got 2 years of research that you've done before you launch your idea on your platform. In terms of other competitors who use different approaches, how do you see that as a challenge to your product? How can your product fit with a saturated market?
No, I mean, I would say that there are a lot of charge points who are their competitors who are actually our customer. In terms of what we are doing, there are few players, not because it's quite a deep tech. That's where the defensibility lies, where the platform we built it is fairly complex for somebody to come in and build it, and build that relationship is the key, because now we got contracts with the grid. We got 20 megawatt contract with the DSO, signed contract, which where they basically, we are acting as an aggregator. So and we got a couple of patents pending as well on the strategy side.
I think it's the last question. I think I understood your point. Last question. You said there are 10 people working for the company. How do you fund 10 people working for the company, and what percentage of actually developers and technical people working in the company?
I mean, we are a tech company, so it's 70% of them are tech developers and product developers.
I don't think I can hear you. There's an issue with hearing. I can't hear it.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's much better. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I'm saying 70% of people are tech and product guys. So
yeah.
Because we are a tech company, and then 30% sort of management and finance people. We have raised 3 rounds already in terms of funding.
Sorry, say that again.
We have raised three funding rounds already.
Yeah.
And that's how obviously we funded this, and now we are starting to make revenue. So we've got 2 customers signed up who are paying for some of the development and also some of the support costs. But we are actually looking to raise another funding round at the moment.
Okay.
If any investors or the board, if you are interested, please visit us at the booth or email. I'll be happy to track through the investment.
Martin, is there anything you wanted to ask?
Yeah, I was just going to ask, where do you see your main competition coming from in the future? Is it from the big energy suppliers that will realise that they've got corporate responsibility for smart charging, or yeah?
Yeah, great question. I mean, actually, a lot of energy suppliers, they're going through a torrid time at the moment, obviously.
Of course.
Energy suppliers are actually one of our primary customers, because they don't have tech talent in their utility, where they would rather stay on top of competition. So I would say other tech companies could be competitors, people in the IoT space, who obviously see this is a big, huge market. EVs, I mean, it's a £500 billion market already. So they are our main competitors, I would say. But yeah, at the moment, the competition is good. I mean, the market is so big that we're not really worried about competition. And we are one of the early players as well, so where we have not only got the product, we got the team, and we got the contracts. So yeah, we are focused on what we can do as a team.
Great. Okay. Thank you, Aaron. Thanks very much. And we will now bring in Gary from Famio.
My name's Gary Todd. I am a founder and the CEO of Famio. Smart cities isn't just about the Internet of Things and sensors and physical technology, but it's also about solutions that help people thrive. Famio is a GovTech startup in the local government childcare sector with some exciting solutions. Childcare provides a vital function in our society, offering social, economic and education benefits to children and families, and meeting multiple local authority policy agendas. Access to childcare is part of the essential infrastructure to support the labour market and consequently the wider economy. So let me tell you about Rachel. She's a parent of 2 children and she's just landed a job. She has her start date, she's very excited, and all that's left to do is get her childcare in place. Shouldn't be a problem, right? Just ring up the local nursery, book the places, and you're done. If only it were that simple. Finding childcare is an absolute nightmare. Rachel found that there's no one place to find the information. It took hours and weeks of energy to understand her choices. She needed to visit a number of websites for information, to compile lists, ring all the providers up, and piece together all her findings. It was incredibly time-consuming and very stressful, only for her to then find that the information was out of date, and that they had 4-week waiting lists, or you had to pay to get on them, and maybe they were unable to do the hours she needed. So she was back to square one, and actually this has jeopardized her future job plans. So this scenario is happening every day across the country, made worse by the pandemic. and it has to change. So what's the solution? Well, Famio solves this issue with innovative childcare plans that make finding childcare quick and easy, a bit like booking.com for childcare. The childcare plans are based on up-to-date availability, costs, and free childcare hours. They can include multiple age children, multiple providers, and also work across local authority borders, bringing all that information into one place for parents. It doesn't matter whether it's on a mobile or tablet or laptop. You just enter 3 pieces of information: your location, the ages of your children, and the required days and hours of childcare that you need, and parents instantly receive childcare plans that are fully costed with an itinerary. This simplified user journey removes the barriers for parents and makes childcare accessible to all. At this point, I'd like to introduce you to our management team. Carol is our policy expert. She knows more about national childcare policy and local implementation than anyone I've ever met. And she was also the former chair of the NAFIS board. That's the National Association for Family Information Services. As for myself, I have a first career background in defence engineering and product innovation, followed by 12 years working in local government children's services. So this leads us nicely into our B2g revenue model, applied initially to the English market. So it's based on 151 local authorities across the whole of England in the centre there. And the use of the Famio platform costs an average of £45,000 per local authority per year, based on a software as a service or SaaS subscription model. These customers represent a total addressable market within England of £6.8 million, with a much larger untapped global TAM of £105 million. Coming back to the immediate future, we're confident that Famio can achieve 40% market share by end of year 3, worth £2.8 million. But because we know the market well, because of the statutory duty on our customers, and because Famio is bringing a step change in capability, we believe an ambitious 90% market share in 5 years is not impossible. With that, I'm very excited to share with you our current traction. We have ongoing paid pilots with 2 local authorities, Cambridgeshire County Council and Bracknell Forest Council, representing a population of nearly 800,000 citizens and about 2,000 registered childcare providers. And in the last year, Famio has received 3 grants from Innovate UK and Research England, totaling £80,000. And we're also an AWS Activate startup. We've got some exciting testimonials, 2 from MPs. The first in the top right there from Cabinet Minister Oliver Dowden, who used Famio in a speech to business people, recognising that sorting out childcare is a challenge that he'd experienced himself, and that Famio is a great example of collaboration and a technological solution that can help improve that childcare experience. Our solution is a real first-to-market opportunity. We are dramatically set apart from the competition by innovation. Our 4 primary competitors provide childcare listings or directories that are essentially just like Yale.com for childcare, but Famio is very different, providing exactly what parents need: real up-to-date availability, accurate childcare costs, and the ability to find a childcare solution by combining multiple providers with a range of novel data analytic tools to help local authorities in the back office to manage the market. And there's a whole load of other stuff that we can do after this, moving from childcare into 0 to 100 plus services. So I think that's my 5 minutes. Thank you for your time. I'm glad to take any questions.
Thanks, Gary. Yeah, I think I've seen you present before, actually, so I'm familiar with the product to a certain extent. I just wondered, do you actually book the childcare through the Famio platform, or is it just making recommendations as to who's available?
So that is on the development plan to develop, but we also need to consider engagement with providers, and lots of providers like to have a visit before they decide to take on a child and a family and a parent. So we have to, because they're providing the data, we have to give them that option. So that's been our first point.
Okay, and just one last question. I'm assuming that industry is regulated and all of these providers have to go through a process. Do Famio vet the providers as well, or do the providers provide you with something to ensure that you're providing validated care?
Yeah, a great question. So Ofsted regulates the childcare market, and obviously local authorities work closely with Ofsted. Our system takes a feed from Ofsted, so for registered childcare, all of those provisions are regulated. But also non-registered childcare can go on the system as well, and it will treat it as provision. But the local authority is responsible for monitoring,
for doing those checks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Kate, have you got any questions?
I've got one question. One of them you already, Martin, asked. That's thank you so much for Gary for clarifying this point. The other point that I would like to ask you is it's a great product. Clearly, it is going to solve a problem that parents are facing nowadays. It's a standalone product, which means that you as a company, you've got the skills, the expertise, you've got the product. Why do you need support from other people? You can grow on your own. You can grow it organically in the first year, but then after that, it's a standalone product. So what do we add as Siemens that deals with the traffic? How can we add to your product?
Yeah, so getting innovation into local authorities is a challenge. That risk aversion to exploring innovative ideas that may fail has been difficult, and that's why we engaged 2 Pathfinder LAs to go through a process of an innovation program or pilot. But even at the point we're at now, we need because it's technically a national first system that then gets bought by local authorities. We have to jump through lots of hoops at an early stage. So it's not like a typical kind of commercial or B2C SaaS delivery. It has to be able to meet all the compliance at the beginning. So we need investment, and we need support from bigger players. Yeah,
I understand. Thank you so much.
Could you also have functionality built into the product to, I guess, suggest the best routes of public transport and things like that through to the childcare providers from the person's same address and those sorts of things?
Yes. So a couple of things. We're able to do a search on route. So if you're going to work and you want to drop your children off and it's a 20-mile journey, we can find the childcare across that route rather than just around a postcode. But also our system will tell you the driven distance to the provider, and we can link it to public transport data sets and route finding solutions as well. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Gary. Any other questions? I'll just cut someone off by accident.
No, it's fine. Thank you so much, Gary.
Okay, great. Thank you, Gary.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to move now on to Ando from Happening.
Hello. Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Ando.
Fantastic. I won't be sharing the screen. So if you wouldn't mind just pressing 3 dots in the corner and enlarging my camera view, because I'll be presenting my slides over this camera view. Okay. Okay, so if a picture tells 1,000 words and video 1,000 pictures, then imagine what we could do with 1,000 videos. My name's Ando, founder, CEO, and this is happening. That night was epic, but these clips won't take me back again, sliding through these feeds just to see what they were capturing, saddening. Because if happening, there's another way. Now I'm on this wave like the other day, swipe. This is happening, swipe. Check it. Happen is the app where you create and you share content you can move around in, like taking you there. You just swipe, I make it real clear. You wanna get to know. Happen is like using Street View but with video. Swipe. There we go. Swipe. Swiping through the audiences, you saw the difference. Multi-vantage videos, or just call them vivid. Swipe like you bought tickets to performance. It's just swipe. Right, listen, so if you rate truth or suspected fake news, why not get a second perspective and change views? Just swipe in the direction and you want to change to. Swipe and you see what they see. So when was the last time you wanted to throw it back again? Come jump on this wave, this is happening. I probably could have said all of that in just a few slides, but there is a reason a majority of people will watch a video today. See, it accounts for 80% of all online traffic, and this is fair to say our appetite for video is insatiable, but it can also be quite limiting, subject to bias, careless editing, deliberate misdirection like deep fakes. Let me ask you this. Who'd watch a video if they could teleport to where it happened while it was happening? So, what's Happening? Happening is an award-winning platform that lets you interactively watch an event from any perspective, at any time and from anywhere in one immersive, navigable experience. Think about it like Google Street View, but with video. We call our patented media format multi-vantage videos, or simply Vivid. But let me show you what I mean. There we go. This is Happening. First, I'll just give you a quick run through. You've got an interactive map view, as well as some augmented reality markers that you can just see on the horizon, just to give you a bit of an appreciation of what's happening in a local area. You can interact with those augmented reality markers just to get some information. But the magic really happens when you add another vantage point to the fray. As you can see, you've got my beautiful model, my wife in the other room, just recording from her perspective. Now, our patented Vivid technology synchronizes these video feeds and any other feed in a local area by time, location, audiovisual cues of a real-time peer-to-peer blockchain-style codec. This means that we can verify the time and place of every vantage. We can also detect post-production edits, but crucially, if you don't believe what you're seeing, you can pan to another perspective by simply swiping in the direction you want to move in, as if you was there. And one of the beauties of what we're doing, because of our peer-to-peer mesh network, it even works without Wi-Fi. Oh, I'm speaking to that camera now. It even works without Wi-Fi, as well as without cellular data. Now, our peer-to-peer mesh network delivers an experience completely new to the user-generated content market, expected to grow to over 400 billion over the next 4 years. But let's consider some of the wider applications. Oh, I just realized I forgot to show you the other perspective. Right, there we go. This is the other perspective of my wife, right? But let's consider some of the wider applications, from navigating film scenes of VR to security, police body cams, judiciary evidence, and even journalism, as well as citizen journalism. Because in an age where fake news yields 6 times more engagement than verifiable facts, why are we still relying on individual perspectives to convey the whole truth? But in the near future, we envision an interconnected world of smartphones, CCTV cameras, and other IoT devices towards a shared immersive field of vision, benefiting industry, citizen journalists, as well as authorities with data insights and by verifying what actually happened. We believe this crowdsourced approach to media creation promotes social justice, making our societies more collaborative, empathetic, and safer. So where are we now? Having personally created an award-winning proof of concept, secure patent protection, as well as some strategic partnerships, we just concluded an oversubscribed alpha trial and picked up some awards along the way, most recently winning a wildcard nomination at TechCrunch Disrupt just last week. We've also strengthened the team, starting with myself, 10 years engineering experience as a principal consultant at BAE Systems, delivering digital transformation for major telcos, TfL, National Rail, and other national security and government bodies. But as a proud inventor of Vivids, I'm supported by an award-winning cast of digital strategists, record-breaking serial entrepreneurs, dragon tier advisors, and some of the UK's leading technologists, including the head of cybersecurity for the Department of Transport and the previous digital architect for the House of Parliament and the Home Office. Together, we're disrupting media consumption as we know it. This isn't just exciting. This is happening. Thank you so much.
Wow. Thank you. Okay. First question from me, is there any kind of limitation to the sources of video that you can incorporate into this?
Technically, no. So essentially, we've created, our patented technology covers any video source that's capable of transmitting over a network. It's over that peer-to-peer network where we're able to do that peer verifiability and also the transmission of that audio-visual data, as well as location and time and cues as well. I hope that answers your question. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, that's great. That's fantastic. So would any of the other judges like to ask some questions here?
Yeah, I think a few years ago I came across the same idea. I don't know if so when did you launch your product? Was it recently or?
So we built a proof of concept probably just before the pandemic, but we ran our alpha trial, which was our first MVP earlier this year, and that's now concluded. It was oversubscribed. We got fantastic feedback, and we're actually moving into our beta trial now. And yeah, that's essentially what we're doing. I mean, it could have been us.
I've heard that concept about 5 years ago. I think. Did you, when you done your research, did you come across any other companies that did the same similar work that you've done? And
Yeah, massively.
Between yourself and their technology.
Yes. So it's worth saying that multi-vantage systems exist. If you've ever watched a sports match, you're watching it, or any sport event, you're watching it on a multi-vantage system. Now, what we do that's different is the way we synchronize it, not just by time, but also by space. And we do some other data handshakes in between. Now, what differentiates us is our ability to verify the time and place due to that peer-to-peer connectivity. We also have the ability to detect post-production edits. And why that's crucial is because if somebody's edited their Vantage or edited their video, we can let you know, we can tell you because of the way we use checksums. And the third thing is obviously the immersiveness and allowing you to move around as if you were there, because they are also spatially synced. There are other solutions that allow you to sort of jump between perspectives freely, but not in that directional navigation way like Google Street View, but with video. And that's where we come in.
Okay. Well, clearly your target market is venues, events, that sort of things. How does that fit with us as Siemens, as a traffic company?
There are two different aspects of this. One of them is happening, and happening, as the name suggests, is certainly an events company. But our underlying IP, our underlying technology, multi-vantage videos, is about the synchronicity between multiple sources, multiple data sources. As far as Siemens is concerned, we're talking about the incorporation of user-generated content in order to fuel your data insights and to fuel decision-making. And we see that actually incorporating user-generated content into a mesh network can actually provide a lot of insights for your technology business.
Okay, and the way it's happening, because you don't have any hardware, so it'll be like lots of data feed coming from different sources. And is that how you see it?
Currently, that's the situation.
Okay.
Our data is generated on the mobile device, but we're creating a technical standard as well as an API, and that will allow us to integrate better into other hardware manufacturers. And so this is about the interconnectivity of CCTV cameras or police body cams or police car cameras, and being able to integrate that into that shared field of vision.
Okay, no worries. I've got more technical questions, but I think we'll take it offline and got a few.
Yeah, we're a little bit behind, so that'd be Martin, is there anything you wanted to ask while we've got Andy?
No, I think it was just discussed really. I just thought, I was going to ask if you had one market that you think is really going to accelerate your growth in the future, what would it be? Is it the venues? Is it the consumer market for friends and a consumer-led platform? Is it in the emergency services? What is it?
So when we ran our alpha trial, again, it was oversubscribed. The thing that kept on coming back was events. It was private events, actually. So we're actually looking at weddings. We're looking at other types of events. But that is just to proliferate the technology. The underlying technology will expand beyond events. Certainly once it is maturing, but once it's matured further.
Perfect. Okay, thanks. And thanks for the energetic presentation as well.
Yeah, thanks very much. I really appreciate that. Okay. So moving on, and we're going to go back to Susanna as well. We're going to do not just a duel. Hello again.
Hello. Hi. Nice to see you again. So I'm sharing my screen. Hey. So, yeah, happy to be here. Not Just a Jewel is an innovative brand that combines design and tech in a wearable, making a statement against violence. But why? Every second woman worldwide is a victim of sexual harassment. Domestic and public violence is a huge problem. 80% of all women feel insecure in everyday situations. Our mission with Not Just a Jewel is to strengthen the sense of security of these people by helping them feel empowered and self-reliant. We enable our users to actively and self-determine protect themselves and others. And this is how it works. Police and self-defense experts recommend to carry a personal loud alarm as the most effective way to scare away aggressors or to get the attention of other people around for help. What we do is implementing a powerful alarm into a nicely designed jewelry bracelet and connect it as a standalone device to our Guardian app. With our solution, we create a bunch of advantages. With a two-way activation mechanism, the user is able to either trigger a very loud or a silent alarm very fast and easy with just one finger. In case of activation, a GPS data goes to your pre-chosen SOS contacts and to a 24/7 emergency service center. In this SMS, a link guides the guards to our secured website where he or she can then follow your live location and come for your help or call the police. You can see our first designs, which are right now available to pre-order for Germany. We merge design and tech in a unique way and position our brand as a high-quality smart jewelry brand with added value. Through the deep technical miniaturization of the electrical components and the customization also of the embedded software, we achieved to be the very first standalone device with an included loud alarm on the market. I'd like to introduce you to our team. We have Daria, who is our hardware hero and responsible for building the bracelet, including the embedded software. Then we have Olja, who is an experienced software developer and responsible for the app and web development. Then we have Vanessa, who is an expert in entrepreneurial finances and taking over our business development and finances department. And then it's me. I'm a designer and communications expert, and I'm responsible for the design and for building the brand. So our advantage is the combination of different professional backgrounds and networks. We cover the whole product development and unite strategic, creative, and technical skills and agile teamwork. Together, we already achieved some exciting milestones. We developed our first 2 working prototypes, including the already functional app. We presented our first prototypes in cooperation with the designer Kilian Kerner here in Berlin Fashion Week and proved our design approach. With some of attention-grabbing media, we achieved to get like more than 1,000 people subscribing to our pre-order list. We also convinced a very well-known German insurance company, AXA, of a win-win cooperation with their security app WayGuard, with which our users are able to connect the alarm directly to an official service emergency center of AXA, which is operating 24/7. We also secured our pre-seed funding with our angel investment partners and the Access Scholarship. Our most recent milestone is that we got accepted to the IoT incubation program of the Deutsche Telekom, which we will use to boost our last steps in product development and testing before market entry. So right now we are preparing our upcoming seed round for production, expanding the team, and for market entry. So if anyone in today's audience is interested in participating, please feel free to contact me. As a growing startup company, we rely on attracting top talent for our cause. So winning this competition would mean to gain a lot of visibility and to get connected to like-minded people. Because in the next 5 years, Not Just a Jewel is going to be the first internationally well-known brand for innovative and high-quality smart jewelry, so that we all together can make a game-changing statement against violence.
From the judges.
Excellent idea and very topical, I think, given the news over the last couple of days. Just so I'm clear, so the jewelry emits an alarm and then calls a selection of contacts, does it through an app that are in case of emergency contacts that you pre-select. You also mentioned the police and connection to the emergency services. Is that something that will be available straight away, or is that something for the future?
No, that's available straight away. So we already signed the contracts with this insurance company, AXA. So we are really proud that they trust us that much that they signed the contracts already before they have shown like the finished product. but we already finished like the whole integration in our app, like from that side, from the back end, everything is ready to go. So now we are just in the last steps of like testing the whole like LTE and GPS and antenna, as soon as they are integrated in our bracelet. And yeah, and so we are kind of on the step to market. And yes.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. I've got one question. Would like to know more about the fees and costs for how much will it cost the individual to buy it in terms of market. Are you only targeting one group of people? Are you targeting kids? Are you targeting animals? And yeah, what's the future? Where do you see yourself in about 2-3 years as well?
Yeah, maybe I have some backup slides. Maybe I can show you that also, that it gets a bit better understandable. So here you see our revenue model. So we are aiming to sell our bracelets in the first year for around 300 euros, and with every functionalities included for the first year. From the second year on, there is a monthly subscription model, so that we can that the persons can like constantly use all functionalities. So without this subscription, only the loud alarm would also work, but not like the whole connectivity and IoT functionalities and like calling for help.
Okay.
So
what will stop other companies like Google, because they already have their devices, their watch, to integrate this idea, use the current technology they have, and compete with you?
So what they all don't have is like this loud alarm functionality. So that was like really including the IoT, like the antennas. That was like kind of the biggest technical development part. So to get like everything minimized and fitted in like a nicely designed jewelry bracelet. And this is actually what differs us a lot from all these kind of like Apple or Google devices, that we are real like jewelry. So this is like a complete different use case. We are targeting on people like high fashionable people who really would love to wear something pretty. We are talking a lot to women around like from the 40s until 99 already, who experienced to go like with other like safety devices what they found like really ugly, and they are really willing to pay for something beautiful and nice, and what they don't what's not stigmatizing them. So this is the feedback what we got so far from a lot of like customer talks and interviews, and this is also like the people who are subscribing to our list and already pre-ordered without having seen this as a real product.
Yeah, I think there's another company does similar things, but instead of bracelet, they do it with a ring. I don't know if you came across them. They've done it a few years ago. I don't know if you came across them when you did your research.
Yeah, we have done like a lot of, you mean a NIMB, I guess, with the ring?
I don't know what they're called. So I came across them a few years ago, and they do the same idea but with a ring.
Yeah, but it's not the same actually, because they don't have a loud alarm and they don't have the IoT, so the standalone functionalities. So what differs us a lot is that also if your mobile phone dies at night, or if the Bluetooth connection is not working, our device by itself can send the own like GPS data. So this is what's not out there. So
I understand. Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, thank you, Susanna. That's really appreciated.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Right, so next we have Donald from Red Zinc. Donald Morris. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. My apologies if I've completely garbled your name.
Yeah, Donald, it's fine. You got it great. Thank you very
Excellent.
much. You can hear me okay? Let me share my screen.
Yeah,
nice to meet everybody, and thanks very much for the chance to present to you. So there's my screen coming up, and let me put the presentation. Do you see my presentation okay? Hello?
Sorry, got microphone on, yes.
Oh, you did see it, okay. Okay, so let me roll. So we provide mobile telemedicine, really helping make cities smarter through mobile telemedicine. Let me tell you what we do. We provide a wearable camera that a paramedic can use and send video back to a control room where there's a doctor helping that paramedic. It's really about making mobile telemedicine smart, making the city smarter by having at the right patient, having the right treatment, the right place, and getting the right technology to it. There's many different use cases. There's paramedic buddy support, there's paramedic to remote expert clinician, there's junior doctor on call training, urban search and rescue, many different applications. And the way it's working, we have a cloud service. It's not just a camera. It's a cloud service enabling anybody who's on the move inside the city, whether it's a paramedic, a community nurse, or emergency doctor. They can send video real-time point of view to a colleague and specialist, the emergency room, in a doctor or clinic, and they can get help with diagnosis and treatment support. So the value proposition, it's really about winning time, because you have a golden hour for a patient. It's about improving the patient outcome, and it's also about improving operational efficiency and reducing costs for paramedics and for community nurses who are in the field inside the city. There's lots of different features. Basically, you see what the paramedic sees. It's remote reality, and the paramedic video arrives on the laptop. One of the doctors in Granada ambulance service, she said it's revolutionary. It's a wonderful tool, makes a quick reaction, and we can interact like we're next to each other. There's loads of different use cases. I'm actually here in the Netherlands today with a pilot with one of the ambulance services. You can see lots of different use cases here. There's a urban search and rescue. There's a paramedic buddy support outside this is a simulation outside a bar where there was a problem at a nightclub and somebody needed to get help with their chest. This is for junior doctor on training, brain injuries, burn victims, lots and lots of different use cases. And the benefits. So the benefits for low acuity patients, there's reduced patient load in emergency departments. There's a higher availability of ambulance resources because there's less conveyance, less transport of the patient. It's more efficient for the healthcare costs. And then for the city, really, it's better carbon footprint, because in certain cases, 10, 15%, you don't need to bring the patient to the hospital. You do treat at scene, and you get reduced care miles because you're not using diesel ambulances so much. And also reduce care miles by family members who follow on patients to hospitals. And benefits for high acuity patients, so this is patients with heart attacks or stroke, it's a better outcome because you can get more rapid treatment, get clot-busting drugs delivered quicker. For stroke patients, if you can treat them quicker, there's reduced rehabilitation costs, especially for stroke. And then more accurate triage, because you're doing pre-hospital triage, gives you more hospital efficiency with resources, especially for acute emergencies. And then the benefits in urban search and rescue. So if you have a collapsed building or a fire situation, enables the situation commander to issue optimal instructions because he or she can see exactly what's happening. It helps the whole team and the patient to be safely extricated from the emergency scene. And really it gives better rescue situations for car crashes, chemical spills, landslides, earthquakes, and other disaster situations. So the benefits, really, it's about making a city smarter for clinicians on the move by helping them. So thank you very much, and happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Donald. Has anyone got any questions?
Yeah, I have. So thank you, Donald. What makes this product specific to the the health emergency market? Because obviously wearable devices are, wearable video is fairly common, but what makes it specific to that industry?
Well, it's specifically designed. So there's lots of augmented reality devices. There's Google Glass and all of these types of things, and the police have body cameras. Mostly the body cameras are on the chest, so they're not following the point of view. This is designed so that it follows the point of view. And then there's augmented reality devices, Google Glass, and these type of products. And they do have cameras on them, but they're sending information to the person. So they're more for a factory application. Of course, they're putting something in front of the paramedic's face, and that's not really helpful for paramedic who wants to see it. Everything is hands-free. He doesn't have to carry anything because a paramedic is already carrying lots of equipment. And then it's specifically for telemedicine because it's got special features for security, for patient confidentiality. And it really is just everything has been thought about the workflow of the paramedic and the emergency doctor and the community nurse. Loads of ergonomic aspects have been developed into the camera specifically for paramedic environments and nurse environments.
Fine. So it's the design of the hardware that is the key.
The design of the hardware to be simple, but also the end-to-end solution has lots of software features as well, specifically for emergencies and telemedicine, like security.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Any more questions?
No, that's fine.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Donald. That's
thank you. Okay,
Cheers,
nice
thank
to meet
you.
Bye-bye.
Nice to meet you too. Okay, moving on. We have Laura from Swift Comply. Just bringing you in now. Oh, tell me you haven't disappeared. What happened there? Have we lost Laura? Oh, no, here we are. Yeah, we can see and hear you now. Thank you.
Lovely. I was just typing back to you. So I'll attempt to share my screen. Lovely. Okay, so I'll get stuck in. Hi everyone, my name's Laura Sue, Business Director for Swift Comply. I work in the very glamorous world of sewage. And at Swift Comply, we protect the environment and we use entrepreneurship for positive change. And I'm going to start by sharing a background to the problem. So fog, fat oil and grease is the byproduct of food preparation. It's produced in every single kitchen, but in great quantities by food businesses. Fog is the cholesterol of the sewers. Over time, it cools, it hardens and congeals and glues with other unflushables. And this creates what we call a fat bag. Fat bags cool like concrete and they block sewers. And when sewage has nowhere to go, it always finds a way to escape. This causes disruption by road closures, property flooding, contaminated natural waters, and of course is a huge danger to humans and wildlife. The good news is this is preventable and we do have a solution for it. So we digitally connect 3 key stakeholders of fog management. And in that process, we've created the world's first marketplace for fog solutions. I'm going to attempt to play a video.
That's why we started Swift Comply. We connect restaurants with vendors and regulators to streamline compliance. Here's how it works. We notify the restaurant what its services do. They seamlessly book and pay on Swift Comply. When the work is completed, we create and send a digital certificate to the inspector for verification. No more paperwork, no more inspections, guaranteed compliance. Swift Comply. We simplify environmental compliance for more sustainable communities.
Sorry, was there a question there?
I think because you didn't mute yourself, there was lots of echo, but it's fine.
Oh, did you hear it just about okay?
Yeah.
I could play again.
No, I think we got the message. It was just a bit of a delay, that's all.
Oh, okay. I'll continue then. So this is our dashboard. It provides analytics and data on compliance status and location. The biggest impact is by digitizing this process is we're creating a brand new stream of data, which is not currently collected by any system. At the moment, this information is stored in paperwork at individual business premises. So our software is enabling smarter city monitoring. Cities, water authorities, regulators can now see and predict where problems may arise. And on the customer side, businesses can now source everything that they need from our marketplace of services and also self-declare their compliance status. Our marketplace also creates new opportunities for service providers, which improves overall customer experience and market competitiveness. So as a company, we were founded in Dublin in 2016. Since starting, we've achieved a number of different successes, including being recognised as Most Innovative Startup by Enterprise Ireland and Techstars London. We were awarded €2 million by Horizon 2020. We have expanded into the US. We now help over 450 different city clients across 5 different countries, and have secured some high-profile investors who have supported the likes of Facebook, OpenTable, and Upwork. And this year, we're hosting the European Fog Summit in the UK with some leading partners such as Southern Water, British Water, and the Unblocktober campaign. So here at Swift Comply, we're all big advocates for sustainability, and through our solution and by collaborating with the right partners, we truly believe we can create a new circular economy that turns fog waste into a renewable energy source. At the moment, we predict over 250 tonnes of fog is discharged into UK sewers, enough to prevent 1 million tonnes of greenhouse gas emissions if we converted this to biodiesel. This is a long-term goal that we're working on, but would create new jobs and opportunities for many, whilst most importantly, protecting the environment. So what would it mean to win? We are the only company in the UK with a solution like ours in the fog market. We're also relatively new entrants to the UK, so we would leverage any win as a platform to show the real good that we can do and achieve through this digital transformation solution. And of course, we'd love to secure pilots, contracts, and mentors.
Any questions from the judges? Are we good to go? Okay.
Just
sorry.
a comment. It's very good product. The only thing that I will say is, like, what will you gain from working with Siemens or working together with Siemens?
So I think there's an opportunity there on the smart city and collecting data and integrating that into some of your existing products and solutions. It's definitely a bigger integrated piece into the future of smarter cities. I believe there's also an opportunity there on the circular economy aspect. We're leading and we're gathering the right people to create this new circular economy. And I think there's definitely a huge part that Siemens could play in helping that as well.
Okay, cool. Okay, no worries. We'll try to get in touch after the session.
Great.
Yeah, thanks so much, Laura.
Always amazes me when we find parts of our world that are still very so paper based. So it's well done for finding something that is and trying to solve the problem. Who would pay? Yeah, who's the end customer in this? Who pays for the system?
So we have various different routes to market, and obviously for us, the UK market is different to any that we've experienced across the world. So there's various routes. Typically, it's through the city or the water authority in the UK, so the water company. But there's different options that we can look into that we're also exploring, which is through heads of chains, sort of big chain companies, hospitality sectors. So there's various different routes. We haven't closed many off yet, but there's about three key routes that we can go through.
Yeah, and I've got connection with a few water waste company that I can put you in touch with, and you can work collaboratively.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Yeah, that's really good. Thank you. It's a great product. Well done. Great job.
Much.
Okay, thank you very much. All right then. And then we will move on to our final pitch of the segment, which is Stephen. And Stephen is from Civic Dollars. Hello, Stephen.
Hey guys, how are you?
Good, thanks.
Great. So hopefully you can see it okay. So yeah, thanks very much for having me here. So I'm Stephen from Civic Dollars. I've been working in the technology industry for 23 years now, and over the last 9 years developing smart city tech, focusing on citizen engagement and improving communities. And it was through that work that the idea of Civic Dollars was born. Because it started back in 2013 when I bought civicdollars.com which was for another project which got canned, unfortunately. But whenever Belfast launched their Smart City challenges at the end of 2018, that I started to formulate a plan of how I could improve health, well-being and communities with this idea. So we won funding through this Smart City Active Health Programme challenge for a scoping study to test the important aspects of any programme. Is it technically possible? Will anyone use it? And I suppose more importantly, will anyone pay for it? So we researched the idea of a community currency, how it works, what impact it can have, and how to digitize it. Because at the moment, 67% of the UK adult population are overweight or obese, and that's costing the UK government 27 billion annually in healthcare and productivity loss. Now, this is a global problem, but the current strategy is focused on treatment, not prevention. And what we found, the main issue behind a lot of it is a lack of physical activity, which is driving a lot of the non-communicable diseases like strokes, heart disease, and type 2 diabetes. So Civic Dollars encourages people to be more active without realizing it. By creating incidental activity, we will improve public health, not by measuring steps or distance, but on the time that they spend in a park or open space. They can earn Civic Dollars for every 30 minutes they spend in these zones, and they can walk, run, cycle, or just sit on a park bench and enjoy their surroundings. And this is primarily so that we don't discriminate against users with mobility or health issues. They can then use their Civic Dollars for rewards that will improve their lifestyle or donate them to a community group or charity. Over the last 2 years, we've won phase 1 and 2 of the Smart Belfast Amazing Spaces project, and this provided funding to build the full production version of Civic Dollars and roll it out across the city. So we're providing the council with a data-rich environment showing park activity levels, congestion zones, and other data points. The app has a traffic light system to aid social distancing and help the users make more informed decisions of when and where to visit. So the system works by creating geofences, virtual barriers around each zone. The parks can be assigned different earn values to persuade users to visit the underutilized parks or parks in areas of deprivation or bad health. The great thing about it is there's no hardware costs. It's all done between the user's phones and the platform, with limitations built in to avoid users trying to cheat the system. So due to winning Smart City contracts to bring Civic Dollars to Leeds and Dublin as well as Belfast, the story reached a lot of local press that created national interest from the Telegraph and Sunday Telegraph and even Good Morning Britain. So although our main aim is to get those who are inactive active, we also want to help the communities. Community groups can exchange their donated Civic Dollars for services from local businesses like legal and financial advice, business consultancy, web design, or facilities hire. We use corporate social responsibility and our social impact dashboard to show the partner businesses their impact on the communities and public health. They can see how many groups they've helped, how many rewards redeemed, and ultimately how many hours in a park that they've encouraged because of their actions. And with this, we aim to impact and localize the UN Sustainable Development Goals, especially number 3, good health and well-being, and number 11, sustainable cities and communities. So just to summarize, we have a Smart City Tech for Good platform built and ready to scale. We want to impact on public health, well-being, and community engagement, and we'll use Civic Dollars to create the nudge to a more sustainable future. Feel free to join me at the Expo booth afterwards to find out more. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much, Stephen. And questions?
Yeah, I've got one. So how many subscribers do you have to your platform?
Yeah, we launched in June in Belfast as part of this phase 2 of the Smart City project. And so far we've had 1,950 registered users on it. That was for 2.5 months. That was only one park that we had activated. And now we have 4 more parks active as well.
Okay, cool. Are you planning to work closely with Parkrun or any other organization? They organize a specific type of activities?
Yeah, of course. We've already been in touch with the local organizers of the park runs. So the idea is that they can do the park run, earn their Civic Dollars, and go and get a discount off a coffee afterwards as well, or
That's
donate
quite
it.
good. Yeah. And I think most of the gyms at the moment, they're doing it as well in the park. So that might be.
Yeah, I'll be in Expo if you have any more questions.
Definitely.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Stephen.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Cheers.